guys, it's your girl Davon. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I am glad to have you. For those of you who have already been rocking with me, I appreciate you. As you can tell by the title of this video, this is going to be my recap of last night's episode of the challenge, season 32, Final Reckoning, episode 2. I'm here to give you all the tea about what's going on in the Redemption House and what was going on behind the scenes of the actual episode. So with that being said, let's go and get right on into this thing. Get your cups and let's have a sip.
All of these detours, I cannot be sure if this is the right way, but I stay on pace. Yeah, I'm on my way. Tell them I'm on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. I'm on my way. Tell them I'ma get there, surely.
So we find out that Cam and Kaylee are going to be partners, which is cool, you know, because they didn't fight, so I didn't feel like they deserved to go home, you know what I mean? So it's dope. Kayla and Melissa end up getting kicked off the show, which is how that began to happen. So in the midst of Cam celebrating, it starts to click in her head, you know, because she's cool with Natalie, but it starts to register, hold up, Kaylee is your vendetta. So now that that's my partner, what's the tea? You know, because if you shoot a gun and the bullet hits Kaylee, it's going to ricochet onto me because that's my partner. So should I be concerned? And Natalie was like, when it's your turn, I'll let you know. I was like, oh, let her know. Natalia is here. Natalie is last season. Natalia is present. So we see that, and that happens with that. Then we start to see the growth of Kyle and Faith, which is cool. But in the midst of that happening, we see this crazy ass love triangle between Kyle, Paulie, and Cara, which really isn't a love triangle because at the time, Paulie was in a relationship with a whole ass other woman. You know what I mean? So it wasn't really a love triangle. It was pretty much a gag. But in the midst of the gag, Kyle is bothered. My baby is bothered. For the record, I love Kyle. Like, he's one of my favorite people. But he's bothered by what he's seeing between Paulie and Cara. And the crazy part about it is my point of view. I feel like Kyle's mentality is, I don't want to be with her, but I'll be damned if I sit here and watch another man be all over her. So we need to figure this out because this ain't finna happen. And that's so weird. I hate when dudes are like that. Like, if you don't want to be with her and somebody else is showing her attention, why are you mad? Like, why are you mad? So watching that is just so over in the Redemption House. First of all, let me clarify because I saw a lot of comments on Twitter and a lot of people wanted to know, like, what the hell was that green stuff that everybody was drinking? Well, to be clear, apparently folks over at MTV abused their drinking privileges because production felt like they needed to put green dye into the alcohol so that nobody is, you know, pouring the vodka into water bottles and pretending they're drinking water the next day and walking around getting drunk as a skunk. So that's what it was. It was green dye inside the alcohol. And, you know, like Big Brother, they give us wine and beer. That's all we get. Shit. MTV gave us wine, beer, and vodka. I was like, what? Drunk? So y'all know I really don't drink like that. But I was in South Africa. I was in the Redemption House. I knew I didn't have to do any challenges for a minute. And so I'm like, you know what? I ain't got no responsibilities. Give me the booze. So I just started drinking or whatever. So that's why when TJ comes in and makes the announcement about the surveillance room and about us being able to peek into the main house, y'all see me take off running. The bitch didn't know where she was going. I was gone. It didn't even matter. I was like, let's go see. So we go into the room. And I'm getting excited because I'm like, oh, this feels like, you know how in the HOH room, they have the HOH camera, television, and we're able to see what's going on in the other room. So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm about to take full advantage of this because I need to know. If I ain't over there playing, I'm at least going to know what's going on over there. So when, because I never say if, when I get back over there, okay, I need to be able to be like, oh, yeah, I knew this was going on, and I can, you know, strategize and be able to play this game. So, the first thing we get to see is a clip from the fight. And, you know, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, that's $1 million down the drain for both of them, whatever. I didn't know them, so I'm like, you know, it wasn't like it was, you know, Paulie and Natalie that were engaged in a fight. I'm like, I had no attachments. It is what it is. So my partner, you know, he had his little vendetta with Kayla during Champs versus Stars. So he hyped to see her get beat up. He's hyped to see the fight. So it's just like, it was weird. But anyway, shit, I lost my train of thought. Yes. So we get to see that. And then I get excited and I let Jose know, like, we got to come check this camera as much as possible because I need to know what's going on over there. I said at some point, we got to come down here when everybody else is busy doing whatever they're doing, and we need to find out what's going on in the main house so we can have information that they might not necessarily need. Like, my mind is in, you know, full. So let me break down the dynamics of the Redemption House to you guys, because it definitely was a house divided. It wasn't divided because we were at war with each other. It just naturally happened that the vets were on one side and the rookies were on the other side of the Redemption House. And, you know, nobody was at war except for Chuck and Brittany, but, you know, it just happened to naturally happen that way. And it was almost like Romeo and Juliet. Like, me and Jimmy would be like, all right, I'm going to come see you and see what you got going on. All right, I'm going to come see you and see what you got going on. But the house was clearly divided. You had Jimmy, Jenna, and Brittany on one side. And then you had me, Chuck, and Jose on another side. That's why as this, you know, Redemption House time progresses, and you'll see on the show, you'll see me really team Chuck. And that is because that young man became like a little brother to me. I spent a lot of time with Chuck, and we spent a lot of time talking about, you know, family and just life outside of the challenge. You know what I mean? Me, him, and Jose, we slept in the same room together. How it was set up was, it was an empty bed, Jose's bed, an empty bed, my bed, and then on the other side of the damn room, Chuck ass had two beds pushed together to make this big ass California king size bed that he stretched out in every night. And so that's how our room was. And over in the purple room on the other side, you had Brittany, Jimmy, and Jenna. And so you had Brittany's bed, Jimmy's bed, and then Jenna's bed was over here, just to kind of give you guys a visual of how it was. So, yeah, we spent a lot of time together. We would sleep in the same room together, which means we was cracking jokes late night hours. In the morning, we get up, we would eat together, and we would play pool together. They would work out. Jose and Chuck would work out. I would watch. Like, that's how that played out. It was, you know, we became like a family. So me and Jose will tell you in a heartbeat, Chuck is our little brother through and through, even to this day. Okay, I already know people probably gonna try to pop off. That's my brother. I'm gonna have his back. So that's how that panned out. With the him and Brittany thing, it was just, like I said, a telenovela. You know, it was hard to sit there and watch that because it was like, what's the point? Like, I understand y'all got to talk this shit out so that y'all can get past it and get to this money. And that was Chuck's mentality on my side. And I know Jimmy made a statement in her confessional where she was like, you know, ladies and gentlemen, I want to let you guys know that Chuck and Brittany are still very much in love with each other. I disagree with that 1000%. I feel like Brittany was still in love with Chuck. Chuck had his mind on his money and his girl. I can vouch for that. Chuck had his mind on his money and his girl. That's what I saw. And I don't know what happened when they would have their, you know, one-on-one moments and I wasn't around. But from what I saw and from the conversations that I was a part of when they were going at it, that I saw with my own eyes, his mentality was, okay, we got to talk about this so we can get it over with and we can get through it and you can get what you need to get closure to this chapter. But let's go ahead and get this ball rolling because I'm trying to win this money and go back to my woman. That's what I got from Chuck. You know what I mean? As the time progresses and the episodes progress, you'll see how that situation plays out. But that's the vibe that I got. You know what I mean? And to be clear, when I make the statement about Brittany being batshit crazy, take note that that interview was not the same day or a day after they had that one little conversation. No, that interview was filmed after all the bullshit had happened. So by the time all the bullshit had happened, I was like, oh, this bitch is crazy. Like, she's crazy. psycho. Bitch is crazy. And that's because of all the shit that had transpired. It wasn't because of that one little conversation. Like, that's weird. That's why when she tweeted and was like, you can make that assumption based on 2 days. Like, nah, sis, this is based on that whole time period. We were in the redemption house. And after that is when I filmed that interview. And after that is when I'm able to say, no, bitch, you need meds. So that's why it's so important when you watch my interview about my first impressions to understand that everything was first impressions. That's why I continue to say, like, this has nothing to do with the game. You know, everything I said about her, you know, she's sweet. I love her energy. She's a cool girl. Whoop. This is based on the hotel and the airport. This has nothing to do with us in this game together. Nothing to do with us in this game together. So, yeah, you know, and even with that, like, you know, she was upset last night, and I reached out to her last night and I let her know, like, I say a lot more shit. So prepare yourself, because my interviews only get intense as y'all situation progresses. My interviews only get more and more intense because I was over it. I was the fuck over it, you know? So yeah, that's just, you know, the temperature in the redemption house at that point. At that point in time, that was the temperature in the redemption house. Back to the main house, they have the rings competition or the rings challenge, and Brad and Kyle pull out the win. It was funny to see Shane and Bananas. That was hilarious because they really like have this war. So to see that they kind of sabotaged each other in that competition is hilarious. My girls did great. Angela and Faith did great in that challenge, and I was super, super proud watching them play. It was dope, and it's even more dope because, you know, you see something evolving between Angela and Bananas, and it's like, oh, girl, that's an attachment to a strong team. And then you see the development of Faith and Kyle, and it's like, oh, girl, that's an attachment to a strong team too. So my girls are really positioned in a great space. You know, if these relationships work out, like, they're positioned in a great space. But the beauty about it is they don't need to be attached to neither one of those guys, because as you see, they kicked ass by themselves. So I'm proud of y'all. Shout out to Faith and Angela. Like, I really did y'all shit. I'm really proud of you guys. And yes, we get to see more of the Cara and Kyle Chronicles. It's like in one house we have the Brittany and Chuck telenovela, and then in the other house we have the Cara and Kyle Chronicles. Like, it's just like so with all of that being said, y'all, that's going to be the conclusion of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I spilled as much tea as I can without like stepping on any toes or anything in my non-disclosure agreement. So I love you guys so much, and this season is going to be great. I know we only 2 episodes in, but next week you guys get to see Armageddon, and I'm so excited for you guys to see Armageddon. When I tell you that shit is dope, it's so dope. So yeah, we got our first elimination round next week. Ow, I'm super excited. I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Make sure you like this video if you liked this video. And then also leave me some comments, because I want to know, you know, how this is going or how you guys are enjoying this season. Yeah, I love y'all. Thank you again for the love and support constantly. I'm going to try to keep these videos going week after week so you guys can know the behind the scenes tea of what's going on. So yeah. Until my next video, inhale positive energy, exhale the bullshit, grab your glass, and take a sip.
Tell them I'm on my way. On my way, on my way, on my way. I'm on my way, on my way.